Welcome to college. You can be whoever you want to be here. Can you?
I'm Benny.
Carmen.
I'm Amanda Knox's cousin.
I have to get right into the fact that you start the season with a pink eye situation, and then when we get midway through, you have a lactose intolerance, bowel movement problem to deal with. Were you like, listen, just dive into anything kind of physical issue I'm gonna have to deal with for this show?
That's so funny you asked that. I haven't been asked that yet. That makes me so happy. I loved the physical comedy element. I love the gross element. Unfortunately, as a person, I love a poop your pants story. I mean, and I just had so, especially that scene, the bathroom scene was so fun to play. And even with the eye, I had so much fun trying to like deliver, you know, emotions of like shock, or it was challenging when I had to deliver sort of more somber emotions because I didn't have much function over that eye, but it was really a hoot and a holler. I was so down for it.
What was the collaboration like in terms of being on the writing side and the behind the scenes side and bringing that onto the screen?
Oh, you're asking such good questions. Honestly, on this show, I feel so fortunate that Dan, our director, and Benny really, and Desiree, our other director, really let me bring as much as I wanted to the character. And like, if I had ideas for lines, there was definitely a lot of room to improv. And I felt like one of Benny's really, I mean, he has so many great qualities, and I'm not just saying that. One thing I really admired about him as a leader on the set is that he was really willing to delegate and trust the people around him. And I felt like they trusted me as both a writer and an actor, and a sort of like creative being in one on set in those moments.
Rish, I'll start with you because you have some really important scenes, and I think between your character and Benny, I think is a really great foundation to like all of the stresses that he's going through and everything he's thinking about. What was it like to be able to kind of execute those and play those out?
I felt like a lot of the scenes I was kind of pinching myself. I was like, wait, we're doing this today? This is what? This fantasy's happening? And like it was so fun. But then also the scenes where Ben and I got to actually be friends felt like such a breath of fresh air as well. And I hope that's how it feels within the show, of all of this heightened comedy as well in moments. And those for me were the easiest scenes because him and I, from the jump when I first met him, we just clicked instantly. And he's so easy to get on with. He's like, I've been saying to everyone, he's like the Duracell bunny. He's relentless, he's charged, he's electric. So like he can have chemistry with a brick wall. But therefore I feel honored to have been opposite him and hopefully bring some sparks and some heat.
I mean, I don't even think I can say so many amazing things about Haley. I'll be here for like an hour, but what a funny character. Love to know, because you have so many great hysterical moments. How much of that was the script? How much of that was you being able to bring your own kind of energy and improvise and play within the script?
That is a great question. Honestly, the scripts were so incredible that a lot of the funny things you hear are from the script. And then at the same time, I was really, really lucky to be on a set that let me improvise. So I won't lie, I did improvise a lot. And what's cool is sometimes you improvise a lot on a set and there it doesn't stay in there, where it is really, really fun to be able to watch it back and be like, I didn't remember saying that and it made it in. So yeah, I would say there's a really good amount of both. I'd say the things you were laughing at, a ton of it is from the script. And then, yeah, some is definitely coming from me. Like for when I come out of the bar really drunk with Nell, that was really, really fun. And a lot of that I did improvise just because it was kind of like she comes out of the bar and vomits. But because I had a really fun scene partner who Nell would like play with anything I gave, I like was able to add more improv. And also the fall, it was so funny when I fell. I like wanted to fall on purpose, but then our first AD, who's so sweet, she was like, oh, she almost stopped the scene. And afterwards I was like, Mary, I was like, if I fall ever again, you need to understand I'm acting. Totally. But yeah, it was really just a blast because also there's sometimes people you work with or play with who don't feel comfortable with improvising, who are still incredible actors. So I felt really lucky that this cast has not only amazing actors, but most of them are incredible comedians too.
Because of your friendship with Benito, I think we were all super excited to see you two together, and you like even exceeded my expectations, which was great. But you have some really great moments with Didi Khan of all people, which is like
Yes.
iconic and legendary. But what was it like to film those moments? Because they were absolutely hysterical and added such a great element to the story.
Well, I loved the character of Janet because it feels like she and Grace really have this like synergy, and they speak the same, and they can give each other shit and just be so honest with each other. And so I was just excited for those scenes before we even knew who was playing the role. And then when I found out it was Dee Dee, I was like, oh my God, like a living legend. And she just showed up to set, and she was so professional, so lovely, and so not the same vibe as the character. So when she's calling her family a bunch of like fucking idiots, it was like, oh my God, Dee Dee. But it was a dream come true. And those scenes were like the one that is in the sort of like nursing home. They felt very removed from the like college setting, even though in one of them we are on the campus. So I think it was a really fun way for Grace to have a very like a relationship that felt like they were both like even, like they were peers, which she doesn't have a lot of at Yates. And it was insane. And Kyle MacLachlan and Connie Britton and Chart, like every person that signed on as a more like guest star role was just like, holy shit, this show is so special. And I was honored to be in scenes with any of those people. And these guys too.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Come on.
I'm no Dee Dee though, but I try.
Now, for you really quickly, because I'm from Toronto and this was obviously filmed here, I need to know about what the experience like was being in my hometown to film this.
My mom's Canadian. So I'm also a Canadian, a fellow Canadian. So I've been to Toronto. I lived there when I'm a New Yorker, but I lived there from 4 to maybe 6, and I still go back a lot. So I used to say a boat. I love Canada. I love Toronto. I've filmed a lot there now. So we had an awesome time.
I loved Canada.
Yeah.
It was
the best.
Fingers crossed for season 2 very quickly. But do you have any sort of wish list items if the story continues about where your character could go?
I want them to be like thick as thieves. I want it to be turned into a 2-hander, us, Broad City. No, I think that I think George honestly can learn a lot from Benny too. And I think that actually isn't explored in this.
Yeah.
Obviously you're watching Benny like look up to George and George kind of pulling him out of the closet slowly. But I think that if you actually in the next season, knock on wood, we get one. I think that George should learn some things from Benny.
I'd love to see them just like go out together too.
Totally. Just
Right?
sorry,
I
a
just want
night with
to, like,
George.
play football and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Well, in the next season, George will be straight, actually, which is so weird. And we're gonna subvert the narrative. No, I really want
And like
them
Haley's
to.
the principal.
Haley runs the school and George is straight. So next season, Amazon's buying. I think that they'll become, well, knock on wood, but I think that they'll find each other and become friends, and
Maybe they'll fall in love.
maybe it's a romantic thing. Who knows?
I don't know. Maybe our characters will too.
I felt it.
I wanted to do a scene with Mary Beth and Rish. And I actually, I don't know. Like, I just want to go with whatever Benny and Scott King and the writers want to do. Like, I had no, expectations, and I wasn't anticipating anything when I signed on. So, the things that I did get to take part in were just such a pleasant surprise, and wherever it goes in season 2, like, I'm down for the ride.
I think I'd love to see her exploring female friendships more. And I love the kind of gross physical comedy of it. I love that because she's also this character that's sexualized. So maybe more of that. Let's get gnarly with it. Season 2, please, Amazon.